with, what do you say, the shocker of all shockers, the defending state champs fall. A year's worth of work pays off for your Barneveld Golden Eagles.
Yeah, I tell you, the girls worked their butts off. It might not have been the prettiest thing, but they worked awful hard all night long, and I mean, that was a great team that we had to play tonight and able to get by them.
And they brought the pressure early. It looked like you were out of sync a little bit to begin with, surprising to us because knowing how much you had prepared for this. What did it take to get comfortable?
I think Rachel's first basket. I think once Rachel hit that first basket, I think people kind of settled down a little bit and the crowd got in behind us. Like I said, it wasn't the prettiest. We could have taken care of the ball a little bit better, but they're so aggressive and have such great pressure all the time. I was just extremely proud going in and what their attitude was coming in and how they finished strong.
And once it was clear that it was going to be your typical sectional final game with a lot of contact, a lot of hustle, a lot of floor burns. How did you feel your girls reacted? Was that playing into your hand? It seemed as though they were ready for it because they were right down there battling.
Yeah, that's one thing that these guys, I told them at halftime, I said, I want to see the gritty team that I know we are the second half. And I thought they really stepped up and made some big stops down the stretch. And it was really key. It was just a great win and really, really happy for the girls in the school.
Let's talk about Heritage Christian. What didn't they do that you thought they would?
Well, I know they wanted to go inside, and then when they weren't able to do that because we really worked hard on double team in the post, I think it kind of took them out of sync a little bit. And the Bennett girl never got into any rhythm shooting the basketball. But I think the biggest thing is we only gave up one transition basket, I believe, all night long, where they got a steal and went down and scored.
The way that Rachel Slaney played tonight, it just seemed from start to finish. When we saw signs of it the other night, young lady wanted this ball game.
Yeah, she worked really hard. She knows that she could have done some things better, but I tell you, her work underneath the basket tonight was huge because a lot of times it was Rachel and 3 or 4 other Heritage Christian girls going for that basketball.
We talked about it on the air. The leadership on the floor on this team is sometimes done inverted from the freshmen on up to the seniors, with Hannah kind of leading the show, and then of course Rachel Slaney. But I thought very much a cold-blooded 3 in that fourth quarter by Madison Lowby.
Yeah, that was there was nothing called on that. That was her just squaring up, being in rhythm, and saying, I've shot this shot 1,000 times, and it was a big time for us to get that lead and go ahead. And if we could have cleaned up some free throws, it wouldn't have been this close. But I tell you, Kenzie made the big ones when we needed them at the end.
And while they killed you, and I mean absolutely killed you in the offensive glass early, it was one and done down the stretch when you needed it. And if it wasn't one and done, that ball was bouncing around out there for seconds on end, shortening this ball game. So I thought you did a much better job down the stretch. How big did you think that was?
Oh, it was key. When you're down like that, and as well as they offensive rebound, even up 3, they get a basket like they did with the Harris girl to cut it to 1. Then anything happens. And I thought for about a 2.5-minute stretch there, we really did well at keeping them on 1 or possibly getting a turnover. But a lot of times it was 1 and done.
So much preparation went into this, Jimmy. You've got to regroup. You get to go back someplace you're familiar with in terms of the state tournament, a new venue at the Rest Center. I think this is now your fourth state tournament venue.
Yep.
And you might be the only guy to say that in this state. You've been around long enough to say that.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Bring up my age
yeah,
again.
I know. Didn't say what it was yet, but your thoughts on having to prepare now? I mean, to take the next step. I mean, this is a team that can do something. Not only they can't be happy to get there, can they?
I think that they're really happy with the win right now. But I think all along it was like last year we didn't talk about what the outcome was going to be if we won that game last year. We talked about getting the job done. This year we talked about, hey, we get this done. This is something you work for. We want that next step and get to state. I haven't even seen, what's happening up in the north or whatever, but we've got 3 days now anyway or whatever to prepare, but it gives us an opportunity, and hopefully the kids could just go out there and work as hard as they have and represent the school as well as they have all year.
Well, Jimmy Myers, congratulations on an epic win here today. You win one for the small schools everywhere in the state of Wisconsin. Barneveld beats Milwaukee, Heritage Christian.